Congratulations, bladesmiths. Your work has elevated you to the third round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges so that you can recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Cinquedea. Developed in Italy during the Renaissance, the Cinquedea gained popularity among civilian noblemen. This large, double-edged sword delivered lethal cuts in close-quarter attacks and was worn on the hip to be swiftly drawn in times of threatening encounters. Derived from the Italian word for the number 5, the name Cinquedea represents the blade measuring 5 fingers wide at the base, which became an excellent canvas for intricate artwork. With functionality in mind, swordsmiths also included fullers to lighten the weight of this otherwise heavy sword. Although the Cinquedea lost its popularity after the 16th century, it has recently made a comeback in the video game Assassin's Creed. Good luck, bladesmiths.
We're here at my home forge in Kailua Kona, Hawaii on the Big Island. This is gonna be the most challenging thing I've made so far. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm using leaf spring that I got at a junkyard. I find there's a beauty in taking something that somebody would throw away and making it into something they keep forever. So I'm trying to incorporate the rest of this metal into an integral guard by bending these pieces down. I literally do everything by eye. I rarely measure anything. You know, so it's not gonna be this perfectly symmetrical piece, but it's gonna have the hand-felt look. They didn't do it back then on some machine. They were doing it by hand.
This acute swell is not comfortable in your hand. It's like the opposite.
Got the shape outlined. I got the fuller started. I'm excited to do this.
It's day 3. Having to cut a hole in the back of my forge took some time, but I feel like I made good progress on the blade. I've got it profiled the way that I want. Feels a lot better in the hand now. So now it's coming to the most challenging part, putting in the fullers. So I've got the blade in the mill, and the milling bit is just skating right over the surface. It's polishing, it's not cutting. So option B is to try freehanding it with a file, and the file is just dancing over the surface of the blade. So option C is to try to freehand it on the grinder. That just looks terrible. This is like a perfect storm of anxiety. Doing something for the first time that's very challenging. How to solve this problem. $10,000 on the line. So I use a smaller milling bit, and lo and behold, it just starts biting into that steel just the way I want it to. It's cutting a slot. Smiths who are sneering at me for not forging them in.
Day 3, and it's hard to sleep because all I think about is this sword. I want to show to the judges that I'm not afraid of work and that I can accomplish something that I put my mind to.
It's the most important step.
I'm about to hit a heat treat. I couldn't wait to do it all day, and now that it's time, I'm scared because it could fail.
Worst case scenario, my blade could warp, it could crack.
And then I would have to start all over again.
No warps, no bends.
It was straight. File tested it.
It's hard.
So I'm happy. This is still a competition. It's not like the stress is off. Anything could happen at any given time.
It's day 4. It's time for the heat treat. My heart is beating fast. It's just this feeling, this culmination. It's the climax of the story. If anything is going to go wrong, it's going to happen now. As I'm watching it, I can visibly see it starting to curl over. If I'm going to keep this blade straight, now is the time. Don't you do it! Don't you do it! Don't you bend! Boys and girls, we have got a hard, straight blade. I'm happy, I'm relieved. Oh, I can finish now. Now it's just a matter of assembling the pieces, getting everything fit and finished, tight and square and sharp.
Day 5, this is it. Just kind of messing with the guard a little bit, try and make it a little bit more fancy. I'm feeling the pressure because David Baker and Jay Nielsen and Doug are gonna look at it extremely closely, and it's pretty nerve-wracking. But at the end of the day, I feel confident that my blade is strong, and I would take it to battle. What do you think? You think you could win? I hope so. My son Maddox and I would watch this competition, and now that I get to show him a sword that I made for the competition, we're both in a little dream right now. You proud of your daddy? Give me a kiss.
The Cinquedea was used for civilian dress, but it served one purpose: to kill. I will take your weapon and deliver killing blows to this big carcass. Dan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dan, on the backhand slash, cut all the way through and lacerated the ribs. On the other edge, it cut the spine in half. The balance of the blade makes it very wieldable in combat. Your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Neil, you ready?
Ready.
Let's do this. Okay, Neil, this is heavier compared to Dan's blade, but the edges are sharp enough to lacerate the spine all the way through. The base and the weight allows for a power slash. Overall, your Cinquedea will kill. Good job. Up next is a sharpness test. We will test both of the edges of your blades by delivering a strike across these ratchet straps. Dan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. My hand will tend to choke up all the way to the guard. This weight distribution basically pulls the blade away. Definitely the sword on both sides is easy enough to slash through and deliver a slice that cuts through all these ratchets. Your blade, sir, will cut.
Thank you.
Good job. Neil, your turn. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do this. The dimensions of your handle really fit my hand. Anywhere I go, it stays right where it has to be. Your edge easily cut through these ratchets on both sides. Your blade will cut. Good job.
Right on.
Gentlemen, to test the strength of your weapon, I'm going to chop into this ice block 4 times with each edge of your sword. Dan, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the other side. Well, I don't see any chipping or warping, so the edge held up very nicely. That guard is so lean that as I'm striking, the blade wants to turn in my hand.
Okay.
But I did a good job. Nicely done. So, Neil, your turn. You ready?
Ready.
Now the other side. This is heavy. You see the Cinquedeas with the multiple fullers. And the purpose of that is to take that mass out of it. It's not balanced badly because you've got really thick tang on there. I see no damage. I can't feel any rolling. So it held up beautifully. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, you've both done fantastic work, but in this arena of competition, there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Neil, congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire champion. Dan, it's that time. Please surrender your weapon.
I came here to win. I wanted to win, but Neil made something that was better. I'm going to go home, I'm going to go back to my life, and I'm going to go back to my craft. I still love bladesmithing.
Neil, You picked a hell of a way to tell the world that you're here. Congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion and will be receiving that check for $10,000. What are you feeling right now?
It's overwhelming.
Great job.
My son is going to be ecstatic that I won. We've been watching this show on the couch last season to me being on it. Forged in Fire champion, that's me. So crazy.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. Today's the wooden crate chop. I'm gonna take each of your blades and attempt 10 strikes through this wooden crate. It's gonna test the overall durability of your knife, edge holding, and we're gonna see not what your blades can do to this crate, but what the crate can do to your blades. Sean, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's have some fun.
My blade's a lot heavier than my competitors, so I think it's gonna perform real well. Let her rip, Tater Chip. I'm ready.
That's what a chopper should do. Just a few little things right in here in your choil, that's sharp. I'd like to see that taken down. Narrowing down here would have made it a little more comfortable too. Swinging something this big and heavy, you want to have as much control as possible. Contouring with that palm swell in there is a big help in holding and wielding this knife. No damage to the edge or anything. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Rachel, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
I actually feel pretty good, but you really just never know in the knife-making world. Anything can happen. This is the moment you separate the dogs from the puppies. Wow. Oh my God.
You okay?
I'm high on life right now.
Well, Rachel, you lost that little flake there. Nothing else seems to have opened up. Biggest problem I have with this knife is the balance. There's a lot of weight up here. There's not a lot of knife to support that tip. And whenever I'd strike on the crate, it's actually smashing into me in the webbing of the hand right there. Your edge is good, though. It's still sharp. Held up nicely. Good job.
Thank you.
Buster, how you feeling?
Insecure now.
Let's do it.
When Jay picks up my knife, I'm thinking, I know there's a lot of flaws in my blade, so I just don't know what's gonna happen. I'm nervous right now.
Well, Buster, we've got a crack going from spine to edge, right where that thin spot is.
I figured it was.
That is a serious malfunction right there. It's only being held in this little belly of the clip. And if we go to straighten it for a sharpness test, I feel it's gonna break off.
I understand.
I'm sorry, but for safety reasons, we're not gonna be able to proceed with the sharpness test with your knife.
Okay.
Bladesmiths, the tests here in the Forge are designed to be intentionally brutal for a reason. Not every bladesmith makes a blade that can complete the tests. Buster, unfortunately, your weapon has suffered catastrophic blade failure, and I have to ask you to please leave the Forge.
I'm feeling very disappointed. I just came to prove to myself that I could compete and that I was better than some.
Rachel, Sean, congratulations. Your work on your nautically themed blades have propelled you into the final round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges for 5 days to recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Kachin Dha.
The Kachin Dha was the weapon of choice for the Kachin tribe of Myanmar. Known for the disciplined fighting skills, the Kachin people used this terrifying slaughter tool to decapitate their enemies, leading them to become one of the most feared head-hunting tribes in the world. The sharp, single-edged blade flares out to a widened square tip, that delivers lethal slashing blows and proves to still be a deadly weapon in popular television shows like Spartacus or The Damned.
It must be an authentic working version of this weapon. You do this well, and you could walk away with $10,000 and a new title. After 5 days, you'll return and present your blades to our panel of expert judges. Bon voyage, bladesmiths. Sean, Rachel, welcome back to the forge. You've had 5 days at your home forge to work on your Kachin Dhas. Sean, how did it go?
It went real well. I chose the 5160 to forge my blade, hand satin finished. And the handle, I did a canvas micarta.
Is it a $10,000 blade?
Yes, sir, I do believe so.
Rachel, how'd it go for you?
It was interesting, to say the least. I ended up going with the leaf spring. I stuck with my repurposing mantra and used a table leg for a handle and did a hamper wrap.
Feel like it's a $10,000 weapon?
I feel it is.
Well, bladesmiths, your weapons will now be put through a series of brutal tests. They're designed this way to set your weapons apart from one another. Up first is the kill test. Doug?
The Kachin Dha was used to battle the jungles in Burma. It was also a weapon used to give them the title of headhunters. To see what kind of damage your Kachin Dhas will do, I will take your weapon and deliver slashing blows on this ballistics dummy. Sean, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
There's a lot of things that could happen when they go through the test. A small chip, failure, and I'm just thinking the whole time, oh my God. There's a jawbone.
Yeah, it does.
Well, Sean, initial contact in here disemboweled this ballistics dummy. On a chop right here, it definitely chopped and cut all the way into the jaw. And on the backhand swing, you pretty much chop the skull open. The blade feels good in the hand. It lacerates, it moves well. Your weapon will kill.
It's just like a big relief, says that thing's done everything that I thought it would. You put your mind to something and you can make it happen.
Rachel, it's your turn. You ready?
Ready as ever.
Let's do this.
Coming out to testing really was like a reality check. And I just go, oh man, this is the time where they get to say whether I sink or swim.
It's gonna lose some real edge.
We'll see.
Rachel, it's rattling. I gotta ask you, what's your construction with your handle?
That is a solid handle. And I did a wood pin, and then I wrapped it with rice glue.
Okay, rice glue, so there's no epoxy here.
I kept it traditional with traditional adhesives, and then the 3 layers of hemp wrap.
The fact that you have a wooden pin in there and rice glue, it shouldn't move. It's traditional, and it's moving. And that's a big concern whether it's gonna stay there, this competition. First and foremost is always about safety first. And the kind of force that I want to deliver over here is the kind of force that I deliver to that. So I don't want to hold back for fairness of testing. And I have no confidence that with everybody being this close and the amount of delivery I have to do on this dummy, it's a big safety issue. I'm really afraid that this knife is gonna fly out.
I'm crushed. I wanted this weapon to be tested. I want to see what it could do. But I didn't get enough time to really test this thing. And here's the end result.
Rachel, Doug, and the other judges have issued me a vote of no confidence in your weapon's overall construction, which means that we cannot test it fairly compared to Sean's blade, and therefore your blade did not make the cut, and I have to ask you to please leave the forge.
My aim was historical accuracy, but it just came down to I did not use enough rice glue. My first time using it, this was a lot of firsts for me. My next step will be to make a worthy Kachin Dha, and I want to hang it on my wall. I got you, Kachin Dha. You know, like, now we're even.
Sean, Congratulations, you are the Forged and Fire champion and will be receiving a check for $10,000. Good job.
Thank you.
Weapon's definitely a killer. How do you feel?
I feel great. I mean, I would like to see that thing go through all the other challenges, but oh well. I'm just tickled to death.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Proud, very proud of what I did.
Good job.
That's why I'm here, you know?
Congratulations, sir.
I won! Forge and Fire. Yeah, baby. I'd like to have that head right there.
Here you go. Zach, Frank, Nehemiah, congratulations. You've made it into the final round of competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges for 5 days to recreate an iconic weapon from history. Nzappa Zap.
Yes.
All right, bladesmiths, good luck. We'll see you in 5 days.
Let's do this.
Today we're here in Sonora, California, here to make an Nzappa Zap. Let's see how this goes. I can't fit it in here, so I might have to do this thing old-fashioned. To be truthfully honest, I'm scared shitless. My master had a personal emergency. He had to leave the competition, and now I'm stranded here doing this on my own. Just gotta keep it together. It's amazing. I made it this far by myself, but I'm gonna give it my all, give 110%, see what I can do. There we go.
Today, it's my turn. I gotta turn this square piece of hot metal into a blade. Nehemiah split it down the middle the night before so that I can pull that apart, and there's my blade.
Zach better be bringing his game.
The charcoal forge is one of the most interesting ways to heat treat. What I'm looking for is an even red color all the way across. That's the right color, Nehemiah.
Yep.
Let's hear how this thing sounds.
Awesome.
It's hard. Incredible.
Day 3, and I'd like to be a little further than I am. I want this thing to be perfect before I quench. I'm gonna heat up my oil a little bit here. If I want to be a Forge and Fire champion, I gotta pull out all the tricks. I figure I gotta preheat this stuff. If you want to have it around 200 degrees, never had that going on. It's really getting a little bit out of hand. Kind of getting to an uncontrollable fire. I'm a little nervous. I have never felt anxiety like this before. Really getting a little bit out of hand. I need that stop sign. Kind of getting to an uncontrollable fire. Luckily that worked. I didn't want to have the fire department out here. Now I can quench my blade.
Today's my last day. I'm working this copper cap. I've got to get this on here for part of the decoration.
All right. Ah, damn it.
Crack.
I think I'm gonna just go right to the grinder and grind it now.
Yeah.
The breaking of the handle's a little bit of a blessing in disguise.
Now I can hang on to it right up to the butt.
The handle is way too thick. Yay! I'm glad to be done. Nehemiah will have it tomorrow. He will be sharpening the blade and getting it completely finished.
Mr. DeVille, I'm ready for my close-up.
My quench came out great. I don't want to be cocky or anything, but the blade's looking awesome. It's got all the intricate artwork on the steel. I really did a weird hammer pattern, so it looks like it was made with just rocks in the Congo. I'm hoping to put this Nzappa Zap on the map. First time using it. Think it'll cut. Probably will kill.
Bladesmiths, now the Nzappa Zap was a brutal weapon used in close quarter. We'll see how lethal your weapon is when I deliver multiple strikes on this big carcass. Zach, you're up first. You ready?
Hell yeah.
Let's do this. Well, Zach, that's a hog. This is a hog. It is heavy, but it's powerful. The curve you have in here digs deep into the chops. Here, it lacerated the spine easily. Overall, your weapon will kill. Frank, Nehemiah, your turn. You ready?
Way on.
Let's do this. Frank, Nehemiah, it's light, so I can go hog wild on this carcass. When you dig in, it cuts into the spine and into the ribs and lacerates quite well. Your Nzappa Zap will kill.
The pig that Zach's weapon hit might have opened up a little bit more, but the truth is the wounds were just as deep and just as bad.
Next up is the strength test. Occasionally, the Nzappa Zap was also thrown. So to test the strength and durability of your weapons, I'm gonna throw them into this wooden target 3 times. Zach, you're up. You ready?
Be gentle.
I'm never gentle.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
All right, Zach, it's still tight, nothing loosened up, but right here there's a section of that blade that's just not as sharp as the rest of it. There's a roll to that edge, and that's pretty much right where it dug in to the wall. Frank, Nehemiah, you're up next.
Lay on.
You can see right here, when the handle hit the target in its rotation, but nothing's wrong with this blade. And held up. Nicely done, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody who actually has thrown weapons, you know that the handles are disposable. But the metal, no. The metal's designed to not take the damage.
Next up, the sharpness test. We're gonna see how well those blade edges held up. I'm gonna cut each one of these ropes, the meat will drop, then a cut in each one of those pieces of meat. Zach, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I do feel like me and Frank Nehemiah are all neck and neck. It's definitely a tight race right now. I've never known what weak in the knees means before, but actually my knees almost hurt. Damn.
All right, Zach. Though your blade is sharp in most places, that roll you picked up, I think that's what stopped it from going through the rope immediately. But the second cut, I caught it down in here somewhere, and it just went right through. All in all, that's a cutter.
Thank you.
Frank, Nehemiah.
Lay on.
Cutting rope right off, this divot in the middle here actually worked very well. The handle where it broke on the throw didn't bother me at all. It's below where my hand sits. It's a cutter. Nicely done.
Bladesmiths, what started out as a competition focused on masters and apprentices working together, turned into an apprentice going against a master and his student. You rolled with it, and here we are. The judges have made their final decision, and the Master and Apprentice Forged in Fire champion title goes to Frank and Nehemiah. Congratulations. You are the Forged in Fire Master and Apprentice champions. Good job. Zach, unfortunately, your blade did not make the cut.
Zach, first let me commend you for just pushing through this solo.
Thank you, sir.
You gave us a lot of artistry in the forging of your blade, and that's very impressive for an apprentice. But that roll you picked up in the strength test, combined with that extreme weight of that piece, made it very hard to wield. And that's why we're letting you go.
Understandable.
Zach, you got the heart of a lion, brother. But at this time, I have to ask you to please surrender your weapon.
Right now, I'm pretty bummed, but Jesse ought to be proud that I persevered and stuck through this. Hell, I made it this far, and I feel like I did pretty good. I'm a winner in my own heart.
Frank, Nehemiah, congratulations. You are the Master and Apprentice Forged in Fire champions. Good job. That title also comes with a check for $10,000. All right, gentlemen, please present your weapon to the judges.
Apprentice?
We won! Yay! We're the first Master and Apprentice champions.
I am extremely proud of Nehemiah. Him and I sharing this, that's what I really do this for. I think that the Nzappa Zap I think that the Nzappa Zap represents exactly us, and that's why I'm very happy and very proud of it.
Steve, Ryan, congratulations. You have forged your way into the final round of this competition. In the first 2 rounds, you came to our forge and used our tools and equipment to forge signature blades out of salvaged steel. Now we're sending you back to your home forges where you will recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Charay. The history of the Charay sword is deeply tied to the violent history of the Khyber Pass, which separates Afghanistan and Pakistan. The sharp, single-edged blade was a key asset of the Afridi tribe. The Charay had devastating consequences for the Afridi's enemies because it could pierce through armor. The distinctive T shape of the spine gives extra strength to the Charay's razor-sharp blade. Good luck, bladesmiths.
Feels great being back here in nice sunny Jacksonville, Florida. My day 1 goal is to actually get this blade forged. The only thing I'm really concerned about is getting the T-back of the spine correct. I'm going to create this T-spine by forging in fuller grooves. Getting that correct is very crucial. Not good. Problem is I put a little bit too much pressure and it looks like it's squished through. It's too thin and I got a little bit of daylight showing in there, so I am gonna have to start over.
I was able to finish up the layering. I got the overall dimensions forged out, but I've never forged a T into a spine before.
If I was in an Afghan desert, this is probably how I would have to do this.
So I drew everything over length and then just started to upset that spine, bringing it out in the shape of a T.
I think it's working great. I mean, a nice even T there.
Went way quicker than I thought it would. It allowed me to get to the quench today. Seems like everything went well, but as I was trying to pull it out, boom.
After yesterday having to trash my blade, I really need to get this blade done today. So far, so good. Looking pretty awesome. Forging in this T-joint is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. So today I'm using my other option, which is the grinding wheel. This is very crucial. I really can't afford to have to do this blade over again. As I'm grinding in the T, I noticed that it's standing out way better than I ever thought. I can control it a lot better. Everything's getting a lot lighter, and I am very happy at this point.
When I was quenching, obviously the blade fell, but I got lucky. Everything's fine, so I'd like to get through some testing early this morning. Failure during testing here would give me only 14, 15 hours to build a complete Charay, so I don't need a failure here. Oh, yeah. Ate that up, absolutely no problem.
This blade looks extremely sexy. I'm just gonna concentrate on doing my handle scales, inlays, cleaning up the blade a lot more. And I decided that I want to carve a wolf head in the front of it just to kind of set it apart, make it stand out. My wolf looks badass. The blade's sharp, the blade's strong. It's time to test it.
All right, here we go. It's pretty good. There's no edge damage or anything. Just bring it on, man. Do whatever you want to do. Awesome.
Bladesmiths, the Charay was a weapon known to be light, fast, and sharp. To see what kind of lethal damage your weapon can do, I will take your Charay and deliver slashes and stabs on this ballistics dummy. Steve, you're up first. You ready?
Absolutely.
Let's do this.
Wow.
Well, Steve, I like the Damascus pattern. And overall, it's got a great fit and finish. Your edge definitely lacerated. It even cut into the rib. On the slash, it lacerates and has a deep thrust. It allows me to disembowel this ballistics dummy. Your blade, sir, will kill.
Thank you.
Ryan, you're next. You ready?
Yeah, man.
Well, Ryan, let's talk about your blade. For Charay, it is heavy, but it's sharp enough to lacerate and dig in, and the thrust allows for the laceration out. Your blade, sir, will kill.
All right, gentlemen, now to test the sharpness of your blade, I'll be cutting through these racks of sugarcane, forehand and backhand. What I want to see is a clean cut with very little resistance to that blade. Steve, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, well, it felt good cutting with this. You can see these first cuts very clean. The second cut, I kind of blew through this one. You can actually see where the T-back smacked that sucker. Now, that's typical of this shaped blade. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan, you're up. You ready for this?
Do me proud.
So, Ryan, first off, there's a lot of weight in this blade. That T-back is there to take weight out. But everything's still right and tight. It obviously cut pretty well. Cut two of these canes, kind of just mashed that one out of the way, but you can see the cut in there is clean. I like the decorative pieces. You know, this wolf's head here. All in all, she's a cutter. It's definitely sharp. All right, gentlemen, next up, the strength test. It's the bullet test. So let's clear the range and get this set. Now we've got your blade, Steve, locked into a vise. We're gonna fire one round right at that edge. If everything's good, should split that bullet fine. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, fire.
Oh, look at that.
Well, you still got an edge there. You can actually see right where the bullet spun down the side of that blade. You see where it caught the T-back on that side? But I think you made a beautiful piece here, and it certainly held up in that test.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Ryan, you're up. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, fire.
Damn.
All right, Ryan, I don't see any damage at all. That bullet painted your blade pretty good. Didn't touch the T-back on this side, kind of caught a little bit on that side. But all in all, there's 0 edge damage there. Nicely done.
Thank you, sir.
Bladesmiths, these decisions are always tough, but the judges have made one. There can only be one Forged in Fire champion in this arena of competition, and that champion is Steve. Congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion.
Thank you.
Ryan, I have to ask you, please surrender your weapon.
Forged and Fire champion would have meant the world to me, but you just really have to be on your A game. You know, no matter what it takes, you just got to pull out all the stops. You got to make sure, look at the finer details, and you know, that's what it takes to win this.
Steve, congratulations. You are the Forged and Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with $10,000. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Steve, your blade was light, well-constructed, and it did wonderfully in the tests. And also the fact this is the first time you've done a T-back, it makes it that much more impressive. Well done.
I am a Forged and Fire champion. Yay! I came here to prove that I can compete with some of the best smiths in the world and beat them, and I did just that.